boxing.
Yep.
Just took gold in your division.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Fresh off of your brilliant performance at Europeans, which I know you're not too happy with, but you had some really good fights.
Yeah, in the run-up, obviously everybody knows I had the chaos fight, so a lot of training was done, no gi and wrestling.
Niall trains MMA as well, and a 3-0 at the moment.
Yeah.
A welterweight.
Yeah.
And for anyone that hasn't seen it, you should check out Niall's KO that I filmed. I made you famous.
True.
At Chaos in Derry. When was it? In
December 5th.
And you had like an insane knockout. So anyone that hasn't seen it, type into Google Niall Wilson KO or KO Chaos Derry.
It's worth it.
Check it out. It's worth it. I think it went viral within like Joe.ie, like.
Pundit Arena, Joe.ie, a few different other ones that shared it on then. So.
And you were just nominated for Derry Sportsperson of the Year.
Yeah, I ended up coming top 6. There's a lot of great athletes in it, and that's what I was saying from the start. To even be in their company and to even be nominated for me as a fighter, and as the way we train is. We always keep it humble, so to be getting them kind of like compliments really is great.
And it's to know you fight out of TeamTorres for Jiu-Jitsu, and is it TeamTorres for
TeamTorres, both
over?
Across the board.
So that's like an insane year that you're after having, you know, like Jiu-Jitsu, you do so well, you compete all the time, gi Jiu-Jitsu, and MMA now as well. Like what's the, you know, are you going to try to go pro or?
That's the aim. A couple of years ago I was in uni in Liverpool and left, so I could do this full time. I'm trying to make a living out of it, so keep going. Hopefully pro MMA, that's where the money is. If you can do well, if I can get knockouts the way I'm getting an amateur, if I can get them at pro and start making money.
And what do you think, how many more amateur fights before you kind of make the decision to go pro?
I think it's more time really. I think it's just about feeling ready. You have to feel like a pro, you have to train like a pro, and you have to fight like a pro first and foremost. So whenever that time comes, hopefully in the next year or two, we'll be ready to go.
And it's really like common that you see a lot of amateur MMA fighters and pro MMA fighters that just do their MMA fights. I mean, they train Jiu-Jitsu, they train other kind of martial arts, but they don't compete. Yeah. How important is training or competing gi Jiu-Jitsu for you?
For me, it's the biggest component of my game. As you've seen the way I fight it, it's madness. There is technique on there, but it's a lot of go. It's just going with the flow, and that's what you have to do in MMA. You can't decide what you're going to do and just go with that. You have to just adapt to the game. So that's for me, competing and staying fresh in Jiu-Jitsu is always important. It's first and foremost in my game.
And was Jiu-Jitsu the first martial art that you started, or did you how did you get into it?
I did karate and stuff when I was younger. I've been in and out of martial arts. A couple of my members in my family competed in martial arts, karate basically, and then just after years of watching Chuck Liddell knocking people out, I wanted to try it and wanted to be Chuck Liddell. I had the belly and stuff, but I'm just not ready for a knockout yet. But then obviously Martin is my family, he's my cousin. He started training.
He's your coach. Martin is the black belt coach at TeamTorres.
Yeah, and that's where I've been since.
And is that your mum is here as well?
Yeah, my mum and my auntie and my cousin as well.
No way, so it's like
trains.
a total family affair. Everyone comes.
They came to Letterkenny, and my mum, that was the first time she got to see me compete. I got double gold, so they even get gold again in front of her and in front of my aunties, and always in front of my family with Martin there. It's always great to do great in front of your family and make them proud.
Do you think that makes a difference having, like, you know, obviously with Martin in your family as well, to make a difference to like having him on call for, you know, training or advice? Or
it's definitely a different relationship. Martin, as people know, he gets stuff done.
Very passionate.
Very passionate. And when you're his family, you get the blunt end of the passion a lot. But as you see, people always saying about him always listen. You have to listen. He's always right. He knows what he's talking about. So I'm always willing to listen if he's going to give me advice.
Absolutely. So what's the plans for 2016? More Jiu-Jitsu comps, MMA fights?
Basically last year, only bigger. Fighting now on Sunday the 24th of April in Clamwars. We'll have
that on? Is that in
Ramada in Belfast. Fighting Magic Gierszewski. I'm not trying to be ignorant, I can't pronounce his name, but he's coming down from middleweight. He's good. He's got a bomb in his right hand, so we'll have to watch that. And then after him, there's the British Open, the Irish Open. There's a lot of gi and no gi Jiu-Jitsu on, so just basically in and out to everything. Anything I can get my hands on, I'm trying to fight. So
good stuff. We wish you the best of luck.
Not that you
need it. Thanks for taking the time.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're here with Niall's mum, Violet, who's very graciously decided to come on camera for us. So we've just been talking about Niall's brilliant year that he's had in MMA and Jiu-Jitsu, and I was saying, you know, like his mum's here supporting him. How proud are you of him and the year that he's after having in MMA and Jiu-Jitsu?
It's great to watch. It's an absolute pleasure to even watch him train, and then to watch him in the fight, and then to see him winning, and to see that joy that he has in his sport, because it really is his life. I mean, he's given up so much to be here, and he's made a big decision. to make this his way forward for whatever number of years is left. So it's an absolute pleasure.
Amazing. And as his mom, obviously there's a lot of moms out there who the last thing that they want, if they don't understand martial arts, the last thing they want is their kids fighting. What would you say to any parent out there that was kind of apprehensive about their child starting martial arts or MMA?
I would actually advise a lot of parents to get their kids involved in this sport, because it's not about aggression, it's not about fighting, it's about discipline, technique, and when you see these young guys and these young girls on the mats and you see the skills, so I would advise any parent, come watch. If they're unsure, come watch a few fights. Even like Niall, I look at my own mother and father, and Daddy's saying, oh, I couldn't watch him,
Yeah.
and then I showed him a few of the fights, and he's going,
He's good. He's good.
he's actually saying, this is not as brutal as I thought this is,
Yeah.
because he can see the skill, he can see the technique, and he sees it's a lot of hard work and discipline. So I would advise parents, come watch, come to these kind of competitions and see it for themselves.
And how important is it for you to come and support him? Like, do you find that the bond... Sorry, Niall, I'm going to get emotional here. Like, do you feel that the bond between the two of you, you know, like that it kind of has gotten a lot better, or that you have a better bond because you get to share, you know, because not a lot of parents do come to fights like this, you know?
Well, whenever I've watched Niall throughout all of his career, even
And I know
as a
you were
young
at Chaos
child,
as well for his, like,
I went his
infamous
first fight.
knockout.
Yes, I went his first fight in Letterkenny. I thought, oh my God, am I going to be able to watch this? Am I going to be able to watch it? And then when you see the fight and you see how much effort both fighters put into it, it's just, I can't describe. It does bring us together a lot stronger. There is a stronger bond, and I mean, it settles me to actually come and see that it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Absolutely.
And then of course you get carried away and you start shouting and joining in with the rest of the crowd.
Definitely,
But
absolutely.
it's great. It is something that we share. It's something we can talk about, and then I can see how important training is for him. I can see why it's so intense that he has to go and do so much, and he has so far to travel to all the different competitions and the fights, and then it helps me to help him.
Absolutely. So out of a scale of 1 to 10, how proud of you are of him?
Oh my God, it's off the scale. I couldn't even put it on a scale. Anything that your kids do, any parent watching their children in anything that they love seeing them do, I mean, you're just proud anyway. You're proud that they take part. You're proud that there's such a... I mean, these are all good guys and such tight-knit family. These are his family.
Yeah.
So to watch it, you know, you can't describe it. So I would strongly advise anybody out there watching any of the fights, any of the competitions, come join. Go to your nearest club, join in. Even if you think you're not fit or you're not going to be good at it, just go and take part.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely. And we'll leave it on that. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Pleasure.
Really lovely to. You're the first parent that we've had, so it's like brilliant. So we're here at the Northern Irish Open, and I'm here with Sebastiao Torres and Martin McLoughlin, the two head coaches at TeamTorres. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today. First reactions on the day of competition?
From my point of view, I thought it was a great day. Jiu-Jitsu's really improved over the last, say, 2 years. Maybe 2 years ago I was here, the competition was held in 2 small rooms, and today it's in like a 5-a-side football pitch, and the opposite sides, 2 sides of a 5-a-side football pitch actually, and it was packed with people, as many spectators as there was competitors.
And how important is it for you guys as coaches to have, you know, all of your students come here and compete?
This is important for improve and see how level we get against the different teams and all over in Ireland. So
because you do have beginners, that are white belts that are starting out competing, and then you have the high level guys.
Yeah, we do.
We just had Niall on, who's done so well at the Europeans, and Una is a student of his, Una Quinn, who took golds in her division as well.
Yeah, we do have a different level. So we have our white belts, as I say, beginners, and the blue belts, and some only turn blues, but they still compete very well, and other ones is blue for a bit of more time and still getting good results as well. So, and a couple of guys coming on in purple belts as well. So soon you're going to see a lot of purple belts divisions, you know, for us going all over, you know.
Absolutely. So one of the kind of main questions that we always ask anyone that does an interview for MMA Connect TV is that the importance of Jiu-Jitsu, not just for health benefits or for the mind or positive mind, but how important as coaches do you feel that Jiu-Jitsu is for any young person, teen or adults?
Well, for me, I can only speak on behalf of myself. Like I train Jiu-Jitsu most days, and I don't think I could go now without training Jiu-Jitsu, and hopefully if my body allows me, I'll be training Jiu-Jitsu for the rest of my life. It's something that's a part of my daily routine, fitness, as you say, mental well-being, keeping the weight down, keeping more flexible, introducing new people, socialising with people I don't normally socialise with. Most of my best friends are within the gym now. We see one another most days. We train together. Our families are friendly together. Our kids are playing with one another. Our nieces and nephews. We have kids classes there with mummies and daddies who only there to watch their own kids are now talking to one another, making bonds. But jiu-jitsu for me, like no other sport, seems to bring people together because there is no socio-economic boundaries, religious aspects to it. For a lot of people, they live and breathe jiu-jitsu when they're really into it, and it's something they follow in their life in almost a spiritual way, which I think is for me the best way, and that's the benefits that I find with it, running the gym on my behalf.
And what was it that got you into jiu-jitsu? Like how long are you training jiu-jitsu?
I started probably 13 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that. At that time, we had no techniques, no nothing. People were watching YouTube, watching videos, trying to work out techniques. And the good guys are the people who've been watching YouTube for 6 months. And obviously you're walking in, they're powerlifting as well, so a lot of strength. And then we decided then I needed to move on, try and learn some technique. So I moved on to another gym, and then I met Sebastian in a competition.
And Sebastian, with yourself, how long are you training jiu-jitsu?
I started, my main one is a judo, so I started 3 years old, so I never stopped, so 3 years old.
So you have a bit of experience.
A bit of experience in judo, jiu-jitsu, yeah, I do, yeah.
And what was it for you that, from starting at such a young age, obviously training all your life, what was it that when did you decide to open your own academy?
Yeah, for me it was funny because when I come here, my goal wasn't open, and I had to stop and competing, and so I came here just to work, but then that brought me again to the sport. So I think the hardest part for me, I had to think again as a white belt, and in that stage as a belt, blue belt, purple belt, every belt, and think again because you're so young, learning from, and when you're a kid, you're not really thinking much around it, you just do, and then get things done. So I try and explain, it was really hard. Try and demonstrate, so I had to stop everything and think and overthink and make sure I can pass with the right techniques, the right things where I can, and still learn, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely,
still getting it, but that's just the tough for me, but it's good.
You guys, like Team Torres, like for anyone that might not have known about Team Torres, they definitely know about you now, whether it's like from MMA or Jiu-Jitsu. The name is just out there, from your ladies team to Niall. We had Niall on talking about his win at Chaos. What's the plans, or what's the hope for 2016 for Team Torres?
Well, personally, I think work is the main thing. So if you keep your heads down, working the way we are working, all you're gonna achieve is the top. So I'm not the big fan to talk on that blah 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 much like we're gonna be the best this or best that. I do believe if we're working hard and putting the heads down and making this happen, and the rest take care of itself very easy, as we are doing already. So every Sims in any club, so we need a few things to fix. We keep fixed, moving on, and
Absolutely.
Keep going.
And what about yourself, Martin? Do you have anything to add to what Seb said?
Whenever we first started this, me and Sebastian were supposed to fight in Grapplepalooza. There was like a thousand. I thought we were in the same competition. It was €1,000 prize money, and that night we both had bad nights. And that night, Team Torres was officially I took over the other side of it. They're officially born because we never wanted to compete against one another because we got on really well. Seb was helping me with my jiu-jitsu then, and he brought me down to his house, and I felt like I was part of his family. And from that point onwards, it was conceived. And I never thought from that day, sitting at the back of Grapplepalooza behind the curtains, where I was losing my mind because I went out in the first round, that we would now be like one of the teams pushing it in Ireland. And the one thing that we do, I think, more than most other teams, is we fight MMA and we fight Jiu-Jitsu. Some teams are concentrated only on Jiu-Jitsu, some teams are concentrated a little bit on Jiu-Jitsu and more on MMA, but we're trying to balance it both. And at the moment we're doing it well. We're doing it well. And so it's thanks to Sebastian, obviously, with his foresight. We come up with a team and bringing me on board. But as he talked about there now, or for myself I'll talk about, is I never would have thought in whatever it was, 2010, that we would be now where we are in the day. But God knows what could happen in another 5 years' time or whatever.
Absolutely. We'll leave it there. Thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Super.